This is the moment everything changed. Standing on that hilltop, arms raised to the golden sunrise, tears streaming down his face, a smile breaking through years of struggle. But this victory was not where his story began. 3 years ago, this same young man sat alone in a tiny bedroom, staring at a paper that read application unsuccessful, his dreams crushed, his confidence shattered, living in a small village where nothing ever seemed to change. One ordinary morning, he walked past an old bookshop and something caught his eye, a book titled Success Stories. He stepped inside, touched the spine, and something awakened within him. He sat on a park bench reading every single page, and suddenly his eyes widened with a fire he had never felt before. He stood up with determination burning in his heart. That night he wrote his dream on a piece of paper and pinned it to his wall. Build a business. Those 3 words would change everything. He started going to the library every single morning, surrounding himself with books, taking notes until his hands ached. He worked on his old laptop in coffee shops, facing error after error, but he never stopped. Even at 10 in the evening, he kept pushing forward. Drafts piled up on his desk, each failure teaching him something new. He looked in the mirror and made a promise to himself. Then finally his first website was complete. The next morning his phone lit up with a notification that made his heart stop. First order received. He jumped from his chair, pumped his fist in the air, placed his hand on his heart, and looked out the window at a world full of possibility. He pointed at that dream paper on his wall and whispered one word: beginning. This was only the start. But success is never a straight line. 1 week later, he opened his laptop, and the screen showed 0 orders. His head dropped, his shoulders slumped, the excitement faded into silence. He walked through the village park on a cloudy evening, each step heavier than the last. He sat on a bench as autumn leaves fell gently around him. A single tear rolled down his cheek as he watched them drift to the ground. Back in his bedroom, he sat at his desk, thoughts racing through his mind. He looked at that dream paper on the wall, doubt creeping into his heart. His hand slowly reached toward it, ready to tear it down and give up on everything. But something stopped him. His hand trembled and pulled back. The next morning at 6:30, his alarm rang, and he woke up ready to fight. He jogged through the park as the sunrise painted the sky. He was the first person waiting when the library doors opened. He studied marketing books for hours, developed new strategies at the coffee shop, stayed focused with just one coffee and water by his side. Every evening he created content and filmed products in his small room. Every night he edited until his vision was complete. Then his phone buzzed. 5 new orders. He shipped packages at the post office with a smile on his face. Days turned into weeks as he crossed each one off his calendar. He kept running every morning, building discipline. Then 50 orders in 1 month. He clasped his hands in gratitude, opened his first business bank account, upgraded his equipment. 100 orders followed, and finally he moved into his very first office, sitting at a real desk, looking out at the city view, knowing this was 500 orders lit up his phone screen, and he knew momentum was building. He worked harder than ever before, watching his business graphs climb higher and higher. Every evening he stayed focused until 7, then rested, knowing balance was the key to lasting success. 1 year passed, and he marked it proudly on his calendar. But just when everything seemed perfect, a difficult email arrived. His biggest client had postponed their project. Disappointment washed over his face as he processed the news. He walked to the park garden at sunset and sat quietly on a bench watching the sky change colors. In that stillness, he took a deep breath and felt determination rise again. Setbacks were not endings, they were lessons. That night, he returned to his desk with renewed energy, writing fresh plans in his notebook, mapping out a new path forward. Every dawn, he ran confidently through the park, building strength in body and mind. He researched competitors at the library, studied every detail, then walked into a coffee shop and presented his vision to a new client. A handshake sealed the deal, and everything changed. 1,000 orders flashed on his phone. He moved into a bigger office, then stared at his computer screen in disbelief as it displayed company valuation $1 million. His hands trembled with emotion as tears filled his eyes. He walked toward a stage as spotlight surrounded him, stepped up to the podium, and received the Young Entrepreneur Award. Holding it close as tears streamed down his face, He remembered that small bedroom where it all began. He remembered sitting on that autumn bench, feeling defeated. The next morning, he hiked a gentle nature trail, walked along a scenic boardwalk, and stepped onto a hilltop viewing deck as sunrise broke across the horizon. He spread his arms wide in the open meadow, face full of peace, gratitude tears falling freely, looking up at the endless sky knowing he had made it, standing proudly on that green hilltop. One truth echoed in his heart: your dream is worth fighting for.